Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be building a cane for my stepmom. It's going to be made out of Purple Heart and then maple sandwiched in between. I'm going to try a little bit different method for attaching the handle to the shaft, so we'll see how that works out. Come follow along. It's been about 6 months since the glue up of this cane right here. Now I'm actually at a place where I can go ahead and turn it on the lathe and then go ahead and cut out the handle. I'm trying a new technique this time for my third cane, and I decided to go ahead and glue it up as one piece and then turn this whole chunk while only cutting the shaft, and then I'll cut this guy out with the scroll saw later. We'll see how that goes. It could blow up in my face. I have no idea. Maybe I should wear a helmet. But yeah, let's kind of see how it goes. Thank you guys for checking in. And there it is, cane number 3. A couple things about this cane, things that I changed from the other 2 canes that I did. I wanted to attach the handle before I did any turning. For me, sturdiness wise, it's really stout. It's not going anywhere with that one quarter inch thick piece of maple that goes straight up the middle all the way to the top of the handle. This guy's not going anywhere. It's not going to break or anything like that. At least it shouldn't, so that's what I'm hoping for. So sturdiness wise, A+, safety wise when turning on the lathe, probably F-. I've been called out quite a few times on my safety in the shop, how I'm not very safe, and yes, I get that I'm not very safe at all in the shop. I decide to, or try to push the limits a little bit, see what I can do, but my awareness is up pretty high, so that keeps me safe, if that makes sense. I wouldn't really recommend that to anybody. If you noticed at the beginning of the video, I had just a big piece right here for the handle. I had it extend the same amount on both sides so that way it would be balanced when I turned it on the lathe, and then it wouldn't come fly off or anything at me. So yes, I wasted kind of a lot of scrap because that piece was all the way down here, and so I had a big chunk that I just had to throw away. But wouldn't really recommend that just because of safety, because when you're starting to turn this part at the edge on the lathe, you get really close to that one piece of wood that's spinning around at a pretty high velocity, so you could mess up a chisel, mess up your hand, something like that, so I wouldn't recommend it. Another thing that I did differently was the shaft. There's no detail on the shaft at all, as opposed to the other two canes that I made. There's some detail. Didn't have a ton of time to do this one, so I decided to just make it straight, because if you start to put some detail on the shaft, it extends the process, makes it a little bit longer, pretty much doubles it. This one took about 6 or 7 hours. The canes I've made in the past that I have detail on the shaft, those take about 12 to 15 hours. Mainly because I'm new to this, and with the detail on the shaft, it extends the turning process, extends the sanding process, and then after you clear coat in between coats, where if you sand, you have to get down into the grooves and sand pretty smoothly and pretty well. And my lathe, it's an old Sears and Roebuck lathe, not very sturdy, not very stout, and I've got crap chisels, and so it makes the detail a lot harder for me. Maybe I'll start doing a little bit more detail later on with a better lathe and better chisels, but that's going to be a while down the road. But yeah, there it is. That's kind of my thoughts. This is for my stepmother-in-law, my wife's stepmom, lives down in San Antonio, needed a cane, and I told her I'd make her one, but it's taken so long for me to actually get to it. So hope you like it, Linda. Thanks.